from our studio in downtown Eureka. You're watching North Coast News on KAEF ABC 23. At 6, severe weather first.
Right now at 6, the school walkouts.
The NRA has got to go. Hey, hey.
Protests all over the country.
We still matter. Our voices still matter.
Eureka High students taking part.
I am a student, and this does affect me.
Students demanding stricter gun laws and safer schools.
Let's honor and never forget.
Plus, that moment of silence as the students reflect on the 1-month anniversary of the high school shooting in Parkland, Florida.
Students right here on the North Coast walking out of class this morning.
You saw it right there. It was all part of that nationwide walkout. 100 or so students protesting on the steps of Eureka High for 17 minutes. That's where Alex Hassenstab joins us live from tonight. Alex, there was a reason the students decided to walk out for 17 minutes. Is that correct?
That's right, Scott. 17 minutes. 1 minute for each victim of the Parkland shooting. They say the reason was to bring students together and put pressure on lawmakers to make changes that will keep schools safe from these mass shootings.
Let's honor and never forget.
Students holding back tears as they have a moment of silence for the victims of the Parkland, Florida shooting during a school walkout on March 14th.
I was not expecting that many people. When they all came out, it really supported me to give that speech because I'm not alone.
Claire Bars is a freshman at Eureka High. She helped organize the event with peer Kira Dart.
We still matter. Our voices still matter, even though we're just high school kids in a little town.
But not all students took part in the protest.
I had a girl yell at me that I was leaving 10 minutes early and that this walkout was stupid and that we're not going to make a change.
And a Eureka High alum, David Phelan, feels that kids should be talking about the topic in school, not walking out of it.
Have an organized assembly with the kids in the school, not the walkout. Now, if you walk out, yes, you should be punished for walking out.
Staff say they did have to follow protocol for students cutting class.
Not really allowed to say like, oh, I support you, I don't support you, but like they were still there for us.
Phelan feeling that guns are not the problem.
As far as gun control, maybe there should be regulations. It's not the guns killing people. It's people killing people.
During the protest, Bars making a call to action for students to report suspicious activity online, be aware, and be kind. But it couldn't be denied that gun control was a message in the walkout.
You're basically lying to yourself if you're saying that guns isn't a factor.
Students saying their age doesn't affect how strongly they feel about this issue.
Because I am a student and this does affect me. I don't want to go to school and be scared for my life. No kid in America should ever have to feel that way.
And Eureka High was not the only local school partaking in this today. In fact, middle schoolers from Sunnybray were also walking out in solidarity. Reporting in Eureka, Alex Hassenstab, North Coast News.
Interesting stuff there, a lot of different stands. And state officials are taking notice of the walkouts today.
They are mourning the loss of their classmates and frankly of their innocence to some extent, knowing that they have to be prepared for what might be a massacre in their own schools. But they are also protesting our inaction, the inaction of Congress, in the United States Congress.
Students, not just on the North Coast, but around the world, taking part in those walkouts this morning.
At 10 o'clock in the morning in each local time zone, students of all ages showing solidarity for those at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School.
Natasha Chen is in Parkland, Florida with more.
Well, the memorial behind us and the signs that we're seeing are just an example of the many signs of support we're seeing all over town on the edges, not just of the high school, but on the perimeters of the elementary and middle schools here in Parkland. It's a showing of this wide support today as students prepare to walk out of their classrooms. The blue skies, warm weather, and school building look exactly the same in Parkland, Florida as they did a month ago. But nothing about Marjory Stoneman Douglas students will ever be the same.
That might be a month ago, but it seems like yesterday to the rest of us.
We thought it was a fire. We were all running to the parking lot that's right next to it. And I was almost to the building when we heard the shots.
Since the shooting, Susana Mata Valdivieso has taken on the first leadership role of her life to organize the local student walkout. It's one of many walkouts happening across the U.S. and around the world at 10 a.m. in each local time zone for 17 minutes in honor of the 17 killed.
It feels so good that so many people are supporting us.
Students told me this is another opportunity to call for change, and that in itself is a way to honor their fallen friends. To the critics who dismiss them for lacking life experience,
we seem to forget that so many of the revolutions and movements that happened in America have started with, not high school students, but college students.
They told me they're inspired by those historical moments, including the civil rights activists' freedom riders. Kai Korber says every last one of his classmates just wanted to be a normal teenager. Now they are injected with a call to activism.
It doesn't just have to stop with us. We're the stepping stone for a much greater purpose.
Some of these
students saying that today's walkout was a good lead up to March 24th, when many of them say that they will be going to the nation's capital.
That event, called March for Our Lives, will involve people from across the country protesting in Washington, D.C.
Let's get right over to some breaking news coming into our newsroom right now. Our sister station in Alabama is reporting an active shooting situation currently at the UAB Highlands Hospital. We know that 2 people have been shot. We do not know the condition of those 2 who have been shot. They're sending this photo from the scene out there. You can see obviously a lot of police activity out there right now trying to sort this mess out. This photo from the scene, police are saying that the suspect is down. The extent of the victim's injuries, though, currently unknown. This is a developing story, of course. We will bring you more information as soon as we get it. And new tonight, the accidental shooting in a California classroom by a teacher. That teacher, also a reserve police officer, was giving a public safety lesson in the classroom when that gun went off.
It was a frightening encounter when 3 students were injured by falling debris. Here's Sierra Stark speaking with one of those students about his injuries.
17-year-old Furman Gonzalez was one of the students injured when his teacher, Dennis Alexander, was checking to see if the gun he brought to his administration of justice class was loaded. That's when it accidentally went off.
You could see splatters on the ceiling, splatters of the fragments on the ceiling.
Some of those fragments ended up in Furman's neck.
And then I look at my shirt like that, and there's blood on my shirt, and then I wipe my neck kind of, and a bullet fragment comes off my neck.
Furman says Mr. Alexander excused himself for a moment, came back and apologized, but class continued.
I left school to make sure the metal was out of my neck.
That's when he called his dad.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I just kept saying, "What?" on the phone. What? I couldn't believe it. It's just so crazy that the teacher teaching them about gun safety shoots one off and hits the ceiling, and then hearing that he got hit was just crazy.
Firearms are forbidden in classrooms around the Monterey Peninsula Unified School District.
We have to have a safe environment for our kids, and clearly in this incident, it was not, protocols were not followed.
Mr. Alexander has been a reserve police officer for Sand City for more than a decade. This incident at Seaside High comes at a time when the national debate about arming teachers now hitting close to home for this Seaside family.
Because this was an incident with a trained professional. If you just give them to everybody, a teacher at the school, this could happen again and again, and it could be a lot worse.
And the Seaside High School teacher has been placed on administrative leave from both the school and the Sand City Police Department.
Moving on now, new tonight at 6, we need to talk about the weather because we have a winter weather advisory to warn you about. Let's take it right here, and you can see we are expecting some snowfall at elevations above 2,000 feet. So that snowfall level starting to come down. This winter weather advisory goes into effect at 7 o'clock Thursday morning and will last all the way until 5 o'clock on Friday. You can see what it looks like right there. So nothing really tonight. We're not expecting too much tonight, but as we move into those overnight hours on Thursday, that's when you're going to really start to see this next weather maker move in. And again, low snow elevations. We're expecting snow anywhere from up to 2 to 5 inches in those lower elevations. So something you need to know about. Now, our first alert meteorologist, Rob Elvington, is tracking this weather maker and the next one. He'll be joining us in just minutes.
New tonight at 6, we're learning today that one of Humboldt's missing has been found. The Humboldt County Coroner's Office telling us they've identified the man they found on Saturday. Officials say it was missing man Quincy Todd Mendez. Mendez was reported missing back in January, where deputies say he was last seen driving on Highway 36, reportedly wrecking his car. They tell us Mendez was found near the mouth of the Eel River. The cause of his death under investigation.
New tonight, staff at the Humboldt County Jail say they got an interesting tip today.
They heard that a wanted felon was planning a visit to an inmate, but she actually ended up becoming an inmate herself.
Interesting. Around 3 o'clock this afternoon, the sheriff's office says this woman right here, 21-year-old Cascade Gayman of Crescent City, entered the jail's visiting area trying to sign in using a fake name.
Yeah, and get this, deputies learned that Gayman tried smuggling 12 grams of heroin into the facility. So since she was already there, Gayman was arrested and booked into Humboldt County Jail.
Convenient. Also new tonight, a man arrested after Eureka police say he was driving drunk on a flat tire and then he pulled out a shotgun after he stopped. Yeah, all of that. Eureka police say they got reports of a hit and run on W and Russell Streets. That's where they say they found this man, 27-year-old Andrew Wright. They say that he was driving in the wrong lane of traffic. Investigators say that he had a flat tire, crashing into a retaining wall near Harrison Avenue. Then officers say that he got out of the car holding a sawed-off shotgun. After a bit of a scuffle, officers were able to take him into custody. They say that he was found to be extremely drunk. They booked him on several charges. No one was hurt there.
New tonight in Mendocino County, deputies say a dangerous weapon is off the streets tonight and the suspected owner behind bars. Mendocino deputies say it all started as a traffic stop in the area of Howard and Lavelle Streets in Covelo. A vehicle stopped on March 4th around 8 at night for several vehicle code violations. Officials say there were 2 passengers in the vehicle, one of them Ambrose Sky Fallis. When Fallis stepped out, deputies say they spotted a glass meth pipe, also finding a loaded AK-47. They say Fallis was found to be in possession of the same ammunition as what was in the assault rifle. Officials also say the serial numbers were altered, removed, or covered up, which is a felony. Fallis was evaluated and found to be under the influence of drugs. They say he was booked into Mendocino Jail on a $40,000 bail.
Well, how a man who was showing officers his cool airplane ended up needing their help to survive. Coming up on North Coast News, we're breaking down the incredible rescue.
And a man charged with trying to murder an officer in Willits back in court. We'll tell you why the DA is calling his sentence well-deserved. That's straight ahead.
Plus, here's a shot taken in Trinidad today. Oh, it looks nice out there, doesn't it? I can't wait to go out there this weekend and relax a little bit on the beach, taking some sun, maybe taking some sun.
You need some sun, Scott.
Thanks a lot. I don't even know where to go with that. Anyway, we need to talk about the weather because that's serious. Me being pale is not very serious.
It's a serious problem, but
we're going to see some snow at some low elevations. We talked about that. Our first alert meteorologist, Rob Elvington, is tracking the timing of that weather maker and the next one right behind it. And he'll be breaking down everything you need to know moving into the weekend so that you can plan accordingly to go out and enjoy yourself. He'll be here in less than 2 minutes. Stay with us.